Totally appropriate.
Yeah, might get some dates.
Yeah.
Tesh, how about you? How did your family and friends react when they found out that you were going to live this way, and what's it been like since you started?
After I did the 5 months and I didn't tell anybody, the moment I got back into an apartment, I told everybody. And so many people were like, oh my gosh, you should have told me, I could have given you money and helped you. And when I was like, I didn't want money, you know, I wasn't struggling. And then my mom scolded me quite harshly. And she didn't scold me because I had been homeless, she scolded me because I didn't tell her. And then before I planned this time around, I gave her a good 6 months heads up. Mom, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and then constantly every month, I've got this plan, I'm doing it this day, this is how far I've got on my vehicle, this is how, you know, progress. Go up, visit her, show her my vehicle, show her everything. And she was extremely supportive for it, for the most part, and then I met her new boyfriend, and he was not supportive of it, and I think he changed her mind. But her attitude is like, I'm just gonna love you no matter what because you're gonna do whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, that
sorry,
is,
that's the bad word.
No, sorry. That's
Sorry.
that's the truth right there.
Because you're gonna do whatever the fuck that you want to, and I can't do anything about it, but I still want to be part of your life. And that's what she goes by. And so she's a little more upset about it now. She has asked me to write a will because she's like before I left, because I visited her just before I came here, she's like, I'm so scared you're gonna die within the next year. I'm like, I'm not gonna die, Mom, I'll be fine.
Boyfriend had a bad influence on that one.
Yeah, I know.
I think my parents worry about my, you know, they are concerned for my safety, but also we're a family of faith, and so we kind of trust God a lot, you know, and that's, you know, for me too. I'm like, I'm not alone, you know, and that helps a lot. But that reminded me of an interesting reaction that I've had from people as I've been traveling. One thing, I got pertussis since I've been traveling when I had that break-in, or I had a terrible like dental issue. So when these things happen, this is really interesting. People send me money. I don't accept it. I always send it.
Wish I had that problem.
I always send it back because I don't want to be like, yeah, you guys keep on working 9 to 5 and being miserable, and I'll just live off of that and enjoy myself, you know. So I send it back. But it's really interesting because people, they judge, which we all do. You judge other people's circumstances based on your own. And so they're thinking, oh, she must be experiencing such discomfort and neglect and deprivation or whatever, you know, and so that makes them uncomfortable, so they give me money, you know.
I feel like I have a better life because I can afford to go to the store and buy whatever food I want.
Being sick sucks whether you're in a car or in an apartment. It's life on the planet, you know, like it's just... Stuff sucks sometimes.
I have this really good friend from college, and he's an investment banker in Hong Kong, and actually now he's somewhere else in China, but he sent me a picture of his hotel room, which was just like it was the bathroom, but it was super ornate and super nice, and I can't remember, I was just like, oh, you know, nice hotel room. I think some of us have a tendency to be snobby about the other people's lifestyle, but I think it's good to be accepting either way.
Totally.
There's a pleasure in that. There's a pleasure in working hard and getting all this luxurious stuff. Anyway, so I was like, oh, nice hotel room, and then he writes back, he goes, send me a picture of your calendar. Because that's the difference, right? I've got the time and the freedom. Yes, and exactly. I can go anywhere and do anywhere. I've stayed in a lot of nice hotel rooms. I don't give a crap. You know, like I'd much rather have that calendar that I have.
Which is basically empty, or you populate that calendar on your own terms. You're not trying to take care of a bunch of overhead every month.
And I feel that in itself is safer for women in general when you have complete control over your life. If I feel I'm in a dangerous spot, I just move. You know, and you don't have that control if you're living in a house with an abusive husband and you can't get out.
That's true.
Like, to the van
or like a creepy neighbor. I've had that. A creepy neighbor who grabbed me every time he saw me.
Yeah, exactly. And get away from that constant dangerous situation, because you're going to be so much safer on the road than you would be with somebody who's abusive.
Am I hearing you say that you have a lot more freedom
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Totally.
Freedom to leave.
Yeah.
I always tell
Freedom to go
people
someplace
travel,
else.
freedom to like.
There's a spectrum, I think, and there's freedom and security, and everybody's somewhere on that spectrum, and I'm way over on the freedom side, and that helps people understand. Like,
that's the part that makes my dad uncomfortable, though, is kind of the security thing. Like, it really bothers him that I don't have health insurance and I don't have savings and things like that, for instance. Which I get it; makes sense, you know.
But with the freedom, you do tend to get more security. You don't realize it until you do it.
Yep.
Because you're so nervous, like, where am I going to sleep at night? Where am I going to park? What happens if I get pulled over by a cop, you know? But then when you're actually living it, it's so much safer. It feels better.
Yeah.
I know there's going to be some ladies watching this, and they're going to be wondering how you guys address going to the bathroom and personal hygiene. I'm sure that those are things in folks' minds. So who wants to take that one first?
I think we've probably all peed in containers.
Yes.
You know, and I'm in a car,
dedicated container for peeing. My pee bucket.
Yeah. For me, it's generally Jamba Juice cups. Not that I get that much Jamba Juice. It just seems like whenever I have to pee in my car, which isn't that often.
Tall.
It's not that often that I have to pee in my car.
Mouth.
What works great too, though, because it's hard to pee in a car.
Yeah.
To pee in a Jamba Juice cup in a car. What works really well is if you open both doors, then you've only got one angle to worry about being viewed. So if I have to pee, I just like, you know, pull over or whatever, open, or I'm near something that will block off the other part, and I open both doors. You know, I try to be respectful about where I pee. Obviously,
you're in the smaller vehicles, so that's going to be a lot more difficult too.
Yeah.
Where we have our outdoor survival experience.
Do you guys use Shiwis or anything?
I've never had a
I have a funnel.
Standing up, but I used to use the Shiwi, and that helped a lot.
I might get one of those.
But we're accustomed to going where outdoors, or you know, pulling up behind a bush or whatever. You know?
I actually get a nice view, and it's nice.
Poo with a view.
If I'm in, poo with a view.
Seriously, there's something meditative and serene about it.
If you're in a place with civilization and everything, America is wonderful like this. There are so many public restrooms.
Totally.
But if you're in the wilderness, which I like to just go take random dirt, that's not very safe, but I like to just take random dirt roads, you know, and where does that go?
And then the world is your bathroom.
Yeah, and then if you're in the wilderness, you just go dig a hole, and once you get over this idea that the facilities. Once you get over this idea that there's one specific place to go to the bathroom, I mean,
one way.
Dig a hole, go away from water sources, cover that shit up, because if people are,
be respectful.
Do it right, but
like for me, so I have a container to pick up Sarah's poop, and then I just put mine in the same container.
I never thought of that.
And it's a completely sealed container.
He's got a diaper genie, basically.
So the smell doesn't bother me or anything. And then when it gets full, I just find a dumpster somewhere and dump it.
Yeah.
You know, and
I never thought of that.
And then I also do the pea cup thing, and then I just, you know, I spray paint the pea cup so it's completely black. You can't see what's inside. And then whenever it's full, I go to the closest restroom and just pour it in the toilet so that it's not like a hazard, a waste hazard. You know?
I do it, in a Home Depot orange bucket, and I love it because it says, "Let's do this."
Y'all probably expected us to talk about like porta potties and shit, but no, here we are.
Well, I only go number one in that, and my mom gave me a toilet seat for it. I love you, Mama. She's got all the cool stuff.
How about a morning routine that you would go through to feel fresh every morning, like brushing your teeth, wiping your face, anything like that?
Well, now that Jamie helped me drill a hole for my tub, I have a bathtub that my dad made, and I have to say, Dad, thank you so much. I love the bathtub, and I love you. He made it with sheet metal. It's huge. I'm gonna put a sink attachment on top so it can be a sink too. I do my laundry in there.
She smells good even.
I smell
she smells amazing.
Oh, let me turn that off. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I apologize. Sorry.
It's okay.
Upside down. So yeah, I use that, but I also do a thing like I make tea every morning, and I'll just pour a little of the tea on a cloth and use that for my face and my neck and
stuff. So you wash your face with tea?
Yeah, just like a hot tea on a cloth. It's just green tea. I don't know, it just makes me feel fresh. And that hot, I think it kind of opens up your pores and cleans those a little bit.
Sure. Teshia?
So, since I'm an urban dweller, I usually stick to the gyms. I get a discount at my gym because of my disability, which is nice. And so I'll bathe every day at the gym, and so I'm just fresh every morning. If I'm out here like this, I've kind of changed it up, so I'm bathing at night, and I'm bathing in my vehicle so that there's more privacy. And I'll just do my body at night, and then in the morning I'll do my hair to get all my hair wet and whatnot, and then I can put my hair up. But I really don't spend a lot of time on hygiene besides just regular bathing. I don't care if I have a pimple on my face or something, you know.
After living in the wilderness, clean has become very relative to me.
Yeah.
So I can feel clean when most people wouldn't. And it depends on the situation, you know, or where I am or whatever. But I'm very comfortable without showering on the daily.
Yeah.
And there's lots of improvised, you know, ways to bathe, baby wipes or, you know, washcloth. I use tea also to wash my face sometimes. And public bathrooms are great. I mean, it's not the classiest thing in the world to, you know, groom yourself in a Walmart bathroom, but it's classier than not grooming at all, I guess.
Right.
So I mean, I don't have much routine at all. So it's always improvising based on where I am and what I need to do and what the circumstances are. So I mean, but it's not hard at all to brush your teeth, you know, just out your passenger. I mean, you know, just sitting in your passenger side or whatever, or in your driver's side, spitting out the window, whatever, you know.
One girl earlier was asking about sinks. She's like, how do you brush your teeth without a sink? And I was like, you don't need a sink when you've got a power pressure.
And I mean, the thing is, like, even if you're going, like, you know, a while between when you can have a proper shower, like, pit slits and bits, you know what I mean? That's all you really got to focus on. So,
I'll just have to put that in the subtitle.
Pit slits and bits.
I never heard the slits part. I heard ass, back, and crack, but I don't think you really have to do your back.
Oh, I do. If I don't, you can see I got pimples and stuff.
Back.
I have like a dry brush, like a boar bristle brush, and I use that. That feels so good.
Nice.
Creek baths are awesome.
Oh, I love showering but just bathing in the river.
Yes, Cami and I have had a few creek baths together. It's a bonding experience.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I should talk about my steam. Part of my plan for that big bathtub is to turn it into a little steam house, because I'm often in places where there isn't a lot of water, or at least fresh water available. And so I think if I can get that into a steam house, I'm going to close it all off, and that really, you know,
that's going to be cool.
Pretty well.
Would you be interested in putting one of those wood pieces down on the part where you sit? You know, you can buy those. I think I even have one saved on my wish list on Amazon that's just the wood slats. So you could sit on it for a steam room. I think that would be
She's
cool.
got a bench already in there.
Yeah, I have a bench in there.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
well, no, wait, it's just metal though, right?
Yeah, I kind of want good wood slats, like with the good smelling wood.
I think that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
show it to you at some point.
Please do.
On my
Please
computer.
do. That sounds
But for
great.
hygiene too, like, I'm fortunate that I have loved ones in most places. I have people who love me everywhere. So I shower in people's, I mean, I'd be remiss if I did not acknowledge all of the many donated showers that I benefit from. So.
Cindy and Eric.
Yeah,
you guys.
yeah. I have 7 siblings, and we're spread out literally all over the world. So you know, I've got showers in places.
Okay, so we've addressed hygiene, basic stuff like that. If you could all three change one thing about your situation, if you had control of one thing that you could improve, starting with Cami, what would it be?
That's so funny you asked that, and I'm like thinking about it. I can't think of anything. I mean, obviously there's little things in my van that I'd like to tweak, but that's when you know your life is pretty good, when you're like, gosh, I don't know, I don't really want to change anything.
Yeah.
I love my situation. I guess, you know, I need to buckle down and work more and make more money. So that's it.
So your financial situation would be the one thing that you would change?
Yeah, and you know what? It's easily changeable. I think I'm just in the place that I'm in because of the setbacks that I had with my other vehicle. But I do see that in the coming months I'm going to make plenty of money, so I think I'll be all right.
Okay, if folks were watching this and had a specific type of job, would you be interested in mentioning what your skill set is, and they could go into the comments? It's
pretty a niche market, but I can edit anything. I'm editing a friend's novel right now, and I'll go the extra mile for people. They like that.
She's very good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then, but mostly it's scientific research. So my background is in the social sciences. I don't like those papers as much, but I do usually more finance, the hard sciences, technology, and I can just guide people through the peer review process, because that's really, really hard for a lot of researchers. And I can get you published if your research isn't complete crap. So, and then any kind of writing job I feel pretty proficient at. So
now,
yeah.
do you have a professional email address that they would contact you through? I don't want to put your personal information up, but if you have something,
I guess my email address is okay.
You're okay with that?
And if anyone has brainless work for me to do, let me
She
know.
is very smart, and she's a great writer. So yeah,
Thank you.
send her that too.
Tamra, what would be the one thing you would change?
So for me, I miss a kitchen.
You would like to have a kitchen?
Yes.
Yeah, I miss having a kitchen. I miss being able, because I like to eat clean. I like to eat healthy.
Okay, I
And
miss that too.
and my diet suffers not having a kitchen.
Do you
I
have a
don't
way
eat
to
as
cook?
much fresh food. I have a little propane stove. I don't use it very often. I don't know if it's just inconvenient or whatever. And so it's not that I eat out a ton. It's just, it's funny because I eat a lot more processed food, but I get it at like the health food market. So I'm like, it's organic processed.
Oh,
right?
it's organic.
Okay, let's hang on a
So-
second. This guy's gonna go right over us. We'll just let him go over us.
They check on us a lot.
I know.
Or is there just a?
There's that
There's
airport, a
Fairfield,
municipal
like, right
airport right
across the
over on the other side of the shopping center. Yeah, I've been getting
something
into
to add
that,
to that.
lettuce over there.
What's that?
I've been getting into that like arugula
Yeah,
and kale.
greens.
They're making it into
Kale
pre-made
stays
salads.
Good.
Yeah.
I like
It
to
does.
dehydrate kale. and
You don't
use
need
it
a
as
fridge.
spice.
Oh,
Yeah.
I dehydrate
Really?
it with the cheese and the cashew.
Oh,
and
good.
I haven't done it. But oh my gosh, it like makes it salty or something.
Yeah,
it
it's
just kind of
good.
compresses the texture and the flavors.
But I like to make smoothies. I like to juice. I love to make homemade ice cream. So these are the things that are tricky. Not having a fridge or a freezer or something to cook.
One thing, and maybe you'll like this, Tam. Safeway has this like superfood kale salad with all this good and
I've had
protein
it.
plus salad.
Yeah.
I get that almost every day when I'm on the road.
I get them
'cause
when they're on manager
if
special.
I can. Oh really?
Yeah.
It's only like I think
It's like an
$7
expire the next day.
I think it's like $7 a pound. So mine usually comes out to about $3 or $4, and that's dinner, man. That's good.
Teshia, what would be the one thing you would change if you could change anything about this lifestyle?
I already did it. The first time that when I did it for 5 months, I didn't have a bed and I didn't have a fridge. And this time around, I said, I'm getting something with a bed and a fridge, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm fixing it. That's my big thing. I agree on the kitchen. Like when I was leaving my apartment last, the last thing I looked at was my kitchen, and I almost cried because it's literally the best kitchen I've ever had, with so much cabinet space. I had food storage from my godmother that she had made some grape juice that was 25 years old.
Wow.
And that stuff starts to ferment a little, which is awesome.
Yeah, thanks, God.
And so I had to get rid of a lot of those old food storage and everything, and I miss my kitchen. I love a good oven. I've got a solar oven now, so that's kind of fun, but definitely kitchen space.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do
Also, I think in addition to a kitchen, I would probably like a man as well.
Yeah, a man would be
So,
nice.
yeah, if I can't have a kitchen, I'll take a man.
I'll
did
take
you
a
want to
man
provide
or
an
a
email
woman.
address for that?
I have a very specific compatibility.
We'll just put them over to the PDF form that they fill
Okay.
out
Oh,
along with
There you
photographs.
go.
Excellent.
Then they
Perfect.
have to take
And
a
then-
quiz and
then
an
I have
IQ
to
test
approve.
and then an EQ test. No.
Folks are going to want to know how you power your electronics. So, Teshia, we were just speaking with you. What do you do to power your electronics? You've got you're a game maker. You make video games. I've seen
game
your
designer.
computer. We charged
it's
it the other
massive.
day. It's got the biggest transformer I've ever seen. To
I don't even know what that is.
the big black box that you plug in. That's in between when you
Charger.
plug in the
Oh.
laptop.
Oh, mine doesn't even have that.
Oh my gosh, her computer is so huge.
I have 16
Power hungry.
gigabytes of RAM
Yeah.
on
So
my laptop.
Wow.
how do you power everything on the road?
So what I used to do is I would go to local parks and they would have outlets for the parties and whatnot. People would sometimes do parties, and especially the dog parks, because they're usually bigger parks. And so I would go there to cook. I would go there for charging my appliances, for working on my laptop, doing any of my game design stuff, for all of my electrical needs, and especially for cooking, because it gives you that big bench, you know, and you've got all that space for cooking. And so I used to go to the parks, but now I'm getting solar installed. And that originally, the solar is really only because I want a fridge, but with that comes all these other benefits of being able to now cook in my car and charge my laptop in my car, which will give me a lot more privacy, because oftentimes when I'm cooking at the park, people will come up to me and ask me what I'm doing.
Use that as a conversation starter.
No, it's more curiosity, because like, why the fuck are you cooking at a park when you could be cooking at home?
Right.
You know? And it's,
I actually love having those conversations.
Yeah.
I love it breaking people's brains.
Sometimes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they're like, you do what now?
yeah.
I'm just living in my van or in my Kia. What would somebody expect to pay for a solar system like the one that you have that can power a large laptop and a refrigerator?
So
You've got a refrigerator freezer,
I have
and it's a Dometic brand.
freezer. I have a lot of appliances and excessive stuff that I didn't actually need, but I kind of got excited.
Well, it's also fair to
when
say
I
that
started the project.
you're still in the beginning phases of
Yeah.
living this way, so it may turn out that what you have,
Some things I may not need, and I'll sell them or give them away.
or you may be happy that you got them the way you did.
Exactly, that's true.
So it's okay. I think it's a good policy to overbuy on your solar, and rather than underbuy and have to figure out how to sell it and get another one.
And a big thing is, I have a friend who's in a wheelchair, and she has to be on a lot of electronic equipment at night just to survive. Breathing machine, feeding machines, and a lot of machines like that, and she's never been camping in her life. And I really want to, it's something I've talked about with her for years, I really want to give her that opportunity to be able to do that.
That is cool.
And I want to make my whole camper van wheelchair accessible. That's a project for like next year. But just wheelchair accessible and have enough electricity to be able to power everything that she needs. And so right now I have a 400 watt system, and it came as a kit with an inverter and a charge controller. It's not the fancy charge controller. It's not, I think it's PCV or PVC.
PWM.
Sorry. I'm thinking cars. So, and it came with a charge controller. It came with the PWM one, which I should have got the package with the MPPT charge controller. Don't make that mistake.
Some of the PWM ones are programmable, and so we'll look and see if yours is, and if so, we'll program it. It's okay.
Yeah. But, so it came with all of that, and then on top of that, I bought 2 batteries that are 155 amp hours each. And so the solar kit was about $900. And then the batteries were about $300 each. And normally most batteries don't cost that much, especially if you get like a 50 amp hour battery or a 100 amp hour battery. But I really wanted to max out my battery capacity to minimize the space in the vehicle so that I have a higher battery bank with less space for her equipment, because I know it's going to take a lot of draw. So I do want to get a 3rd battery once I have the money, and maybe even a 4th and a 2nd set of panels.
So we're talking about 6 and 9, about $1,500, plus maybe some cables and maybe an inverter or two.
And some fuses, which I didn't know that I needed. I need a fuse between my solar and my charge controller, and another fuse between my charge controller and my battery, and those are 30 amp fuses. And then between the battery and the inverter, you need another fuse, 150 amp fuse, because that's where the high power is transferring. But when you start getting into it, that's when you really learn, because I didn't know anything about solar before I did this. And but most of my electronics don't take much. I've got my fridge, which draws about 7 amp hours, it says. I'm not sure how many watts that is. And then I have a small microwave and a hot plate I'm not sure either of them will work on the solar system, but we're going to try it out anyway.
Okay.
And the small microwave, it's about 1,000 watts, and then the hot plate, which is just a stovetop, an electric stovetop, is I think 900 watts. And so my inverter is a 1,500 watt inverter, and you never want to get anything more than 1,000, or sorry, anything more than 500 less than the max. You know, and so hopefully my electronics will work with it fine. But I'm not worried about electricity because my battery bank is huge for such a small vehicle.
So nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're going to be in good shape. Cami, what do you do for power?
So far I've just been going to libraries, McDonald's, that kind of place, which I try not to eat McDonald's food, but America's so easy with stuff like that. I really feel like our society has gotten to a point where there's a lot of waste and there's a lot of just like free services everywhere. And I love going to the library. I love the environment. I always meet somebody there, you know. So yeah, I'll plug in there. I'll plug in at McDonald's or someplace like that. But I don't have to do it too often. I mean, just when I'm working, so.
Tamra, it seems to me, before I even ask this question, you're going to say the only thing you need to plug in is your survival knife. You don't come across to me as like having a lot of high power needs.
No, I don't. I'm not.
Tell us about it.
I'm not real tech. My life isn't real tech heavy. I do have a smartphone.
Okay.
So it's a hand-me-down. But yeah. So really, all I got to do. I mean, I have a laptop as well. Well, it's a Chromebook. It's like $150 laptop. Anyway, so yeah, same thing. Like, just
That's nothing.
wherever I am, you know what I mean? I figure it out. So I've gone to parks, I go to libraries, I'll just figure it out, wherever I need to go. Generally, my cigarette lighter is enough to give me what, from place to place, give me what I need as far as electricity, especially now that Danny fixed it.
Sounds good, sounds good.
Oh, I should say I'm getting a little bit of solar, and I'm really, really excited about that. I didn't expect to be able to get that while I was here.
So you're just about to get some solar. Your installation isn't going to finish out as elaborate as Teshia's as far as running a refrigerator.
Mine's excessive.
Well, it's going to run a fridge.
I'd love to get a fridge someday, but all in due time, right? Like I don't have that stuff because I haven't earned the money to buy it yet. There have been some extremely kind people, and Jamie organized all this, who have donated items, and I didn't expect to get solar. It's so funny because I watched the video and I was like, I'm gonna go to that, to come to this build out. Yeah. And then that night I fell asleep and I had a dream that I got solar power. And I was like, I can't do that right now, but whatever. And it looks like I'm gonna go home with solar power, wherever home is on the road. So I'm really excited about that. There's a guy, Danny, here. I wish, he doesn't want to be on video, but
Danny Claus.
Yeah, he's like Danny Claus. He's amazing. He's so handy and just talented and generous and knows what he's doing. And he's doing these custom cupboards for me that are really going to change my life because in the van you're often looking for something, so you have to shift all the stuff from this place to that place, get the thing, and then shift all this stuff back, and then your bed's covered. And so he's building a thing of shelves for me, and I just feel like I'm going to drive out of this event with a life that's so much more comfortable. I'm gonna just abundance.
This was not what I expected when I came here.
People have been amazing.
Everyone here is just incredible. There's so many beautiful people with fantastic stories and a history and camaraderie, and even if they've never met you, they're just at face value. And I love this place. I love this meeting or this gathering. I love this
beautiful
event.
spot. Great people.
I hope it continues on for years.
Me too. I'm so glad. Cami found out about it and told me, and then I told Evan, who told Clint.
And we told a random couple on the road. They didn't show up yet,
but their friends showed up though. Yesterday, that big old bus.
Friends?
Yes,
That's cool.
So, but yeah, this has been, and for me, I have a car. I didn't expect that. I thought I would just come learn and maybe help or whatever. But like, I've gotten hooked up. Just people are so clever, and all these ideas and things I didn't even think of, you know, and upgrades I hadn't even dreamt of, you know, and just people's generosity and people's know-how and people's resources and tools and
just companionship.
Totally.
So these people are so cool. Like, part of why I wanted to come home to America was so I could, I don't know, there were times where I was very isolated in Taiwan and quite lonely, and just coming and people are like, oh, we're going on a trip to this place at this time. Do you want to go? And there's this community around this. Yeah. And I remember I used to always feel really sad because I felt like after college, everybody got their jobs, their significant others, their kids, their houses.
And you isolate yourself from the world.
Yeah.
You never get to hang out and develop those deep relationships and just sit around. Like, if you want to have like a night with deep conversations, you have to like plan it.
Yeah.
But in this situation,
or it has to be somebody's birthday.
All you have to do is just ask me to turn the music down so you can hear each other.
All you need is a campfire, seriously.
Right.
It's that same bonding as like college or something, just with
well, and it's
better
like-minded people. People are on the same wavelength, and this is a niche thing. So it's hard to find people who get you. And the thing is, I love relating to people who I don't easily relate to. I love finding
older people. I
love finding that with other people. But it's so nice also when you can get together with people who are like, yeah, I get that. You know what I mean? You don't have to defend your lifestyle. You don't have to explain. You don't have to. But you can start on that foundation already and just go from there. So.
Well, I'm glad you guys are having a good time here, and I appreciate the kind words. Let's say that your solar system, with everything that's in there, if we were to go out and buy all that stuff separately, would run somewhere probably in the neighborhood of about $1, $2, $3, maybe $350 or $400. So maybe $350 or $400 for a basic 100-watt solar panel, a basic 125 amp hour battery that's not lead acid, so she can put it inside the coach and not have to worry about outgassing while it's charging. The wiring, the charge controller, a basic inverter, maybe $350, $400. You can find that stuff on Amazon. Just wanted to put a bow on that conversation about the solar. And so let's go ahead and let me see what else I have on my list here.
So, you know, during the course of this whole month that we're doing this, it's amazing how many little bits and pieces you need to make these projects work. And you can't expect the people to really know what they need because they don't have a clue. Or they'll order like a solar kit online and think that's everything they need to build it. But it's not. It doesn't include a whole bunch of stuff. So I know I ended up buying a compressor because we needed a compressor for air to shoot some staple guns that I have, and I bought a Ryobi toolkit because I didn't have everything I needed for the build, and it just makes things easier. But there was a lot of people missing their fuse panels. We were trying to put together these little crimp-on fuse panels. Everybody needs crimps when you wire things together. No one comes with that stuff, so you really ought to try to get some kind of a Patreon thing going to help support these builds. And I think it would make it easier because Jamie came out of a lot of pocket, I know, and I came out with, I mean, that's fine. I don't mind doing that. But, you know, I had to donate, you know, a couple $100s, I'm sure, to make this happen. And if everybody would support a little bit, I think it'd be better for everyone. Because, you know, if you pay $1 or $2 to watch a video, and if everybody does that, then that adds up quick, and that can all go back into helping the van builds and then for next year. And during the year, I'm sure Jamie will help. You know, when he sees somebody that needs a hand, he'll help them, not just on the time of the van build. But supporting Jamie with the Patreon, I think, is a good way to go.